Hi, this is Tom and Ann from True Cave Aquatics. Well, this is Tom somewhere under all this hair and beard. I wanted to make a video about the 60-gallon tank here in the living room in front of us under the television. I got this tank last October on Facebook Marketplace, and it was the tank and the stand here for 50 bucks. I couldn't pass it up. It was a turtle tank. The guy had 2 turtles in it, so it was pretty filthy. It took me a while to get the glass nice and clean, but Annie and I went to Pet Smart just a little while ago to get some crickets for my African butterfly fish in here to feed them with, and they had a bunch of aquariums for sale. We walked in the door. They had this exact tank, the tank and the stand, no light or no glass top, no filter, no air pump or anything like that. I think there might have been some fake plants or something inside the tank that went along with it. They wanted $650 for the tank and stand. 650 bucks before tax, so that didn't include the tax on it. So I think that's a pretty great deal. I wouldn't pay that much money for this tank and stand. 650 bucks plus tax. It's a nice tank. It's the same length as my 75-gallon over here, but it's taller and narrower. And I had it for a while and finally brought it into the living room, had it set up for a while. Really didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I thought for a while I was gonna paint some glow-in-the-dark scene on some plastic sheeting that I bought for the back and the sides, but I decided against that. So I just blacked out the tank, painted black acrylic tank, paint on it, a couple of coats on the back and both sides, so you couldn't see through the side and the wall and the brick fire chimney here, or into the bedroom or whatever. So it gave it a little depth when I did that. And then I was thinking about the background, and I wanted to make it different than any of my other aquariums. I didn't want them to be the same as my other tanks here in the living room. I looked into the 3D backgrounds that you can put inside the tank that look like rocks or whatever. Pretty expensive. I saw some people on YouTube, fish keepers, using them. They look, some of them look pretty nice, but the cost was a little crazy on some of this stuff. The the realistic looking ones. And so I thought about it for a while, and I found these black acrylic floating shelves that you're meant to put up on walls for knickknacks or whatever. And I ordered some. I have 3 12-inch ones here on the back, and a 9-inch one back there, and a couple of 9-inch black acrylic floating shelves on this side. I use silicone to attach them to the inside glass, and just a stick to prop them up so they wouldn't slide down. I probably should have just laid them on the floor and did it that way, but anyway, it worked out well. And the rocks in here, like this banded rock there, the white quartz, and the slate, my wife and I found locally. We went out and found that. So that didn't cost anything. The floating shells were cheap. I use Higher lights, a Higher full spectrum 4-foot light on the top. It's fairly inexpensive. I think my biggest expense in here probably is the Tidal 110 hang on the back filter there. I like those filters a lot. I had a 75 on there but it didn't work when I plugged it in. So I just got a 110. I use it for just keeping the water clear, and I do the same on my 75-gallon tank. I just mostly fill it with filter floss, the water polisher, and just change out the filter floss in it like once a week or so. And I have some Purigen, a bag of Purigen, and that one and this one over here. Keeps the water nice and clean, clear. And then I rely on sponge filter. That sponge filter there is a Hygger sponge filter with a biological compartment in the bottom, and I got that from Hygger company for free, so I didn't spend any money on that. And I have a Hygger heater. I like those heaters because if you ever forget to turn them off when you're doing a water change and they get below the water level, they won't explode on you. The glass won't crack like a lot of heaters do. And they have good guarantees on their lights and stuff. I actually accidentally knocked one of those Hygger lights into that 75-gallon tank over here one day when I was working on it, and it was fully submerged in the water and on. My hands were in the tank. It didn't shock me. Those lights are sealed and waterproof and very competitive in price. So yeah, I decided to, I liked I saw somebody that had shelves sort of in a smaller tank, and I kind of like the look, so that's how I came up with the idea of the shelves. And I got spider wood in here, one large piece and smaller pieces that I put together. They weren't that expensive, but yeah, I saved like at least well over $600 on just by getting this tank on Facebook Marketplace and cleaning it. The big thing is you want to check the seals, the silicone, and make sure it's intact, and make sure the tank doesn't leak. I set this thing out on the front porch for a few weeks full of water, and it didn't leak anywhere. You can re-caulk them, but you have to strip out every bit of caulk inside there. You can't put new caulk over old caulk. It's not going to seal up. And then once you get all the caulk out, you can clean it with something like acetone, and then make sure it's sparkling clean, and reseal them. That's another way to save money if you feel comfortable doing that. But luckily for me, this one held water. It didn't need resealing, and it was a good way to save a lot of money. A lot of money on this one tank, over $600. So this is probably the 60-gallon tall. It's probably the least expensive aquarium I have in here, well, except for maybe the 10-gallon tank down here. It's just growing out plants right now. I have my 10-gallon. I have my spotted talking catfish in there growing out for a while. There's a little Cory cat in there, but I'm just growing roots on plants, some Brazilian pennywort, and some mint that I plan on putting in this tank here soon as it grows out some nice roots. So if you're thinking about getting an aquarium, especially a big tank, 55 or over, 60, 75, 100-gallon or bigger, check into Facebook Marketplace. I don't do Craigslist, but Facebook Marketplace is a good place to find tanks. And you can always barter with them on the price. People usually come down on the price, especially if it's been on for sale for like a week or longer. You can get some really great deals and save yourself a bunch of money. So I thought I'd pass that on, and As I said, this hobby isn't cheap, especially when you're having big tanks full of fish and plants, multiple aquariums in the house. It starts adding up. There's my Chinese golden algae there. She's a real sweetheart. She's probably at least 6 inches or longer now. But I thought about putting her in the 60, but she digs holes. She digs down to the bottom of that substrate too much. But my whiptail catfish is in there, and that little ram, and that gourami, that pearl gourami up there, the cory cat, the snail, black devil spike snail you can see there. I may put another fish or two in there. And I'm going to be getting some rainbow fish, some larger rainbow fish for this 60-gallon tank. Probably next month. And some oddball fish, some maybe a couple of eels, and some rare catfish, possibly a loach, I don't know, but definitely a couple of eels, and some catfish, some nice unusual looking catfish. Here's my little Altum Angel there in the center, you can see, and my Roseline sharks, and the little Siamese algae eater that schools with them. My talking catfish is down here, spotted talking catfish is down there in the corner, and of course my African butterfly fish up on the top, 6 of those. So yeah, consider Facebook Marketplace before you run out and spend too much money on a big tank. Just make sure it's sealed well. Maybe you would ask the person to leave water in it before you come and see it. Make sure it's not leaking. As far as the equipment, pumps and filters, I mean, if an air pump works and it's thrown in there, that's good. Filters, I'd check into those. But something like that title, you can always buy a new pump for it if it doesn't work. They're about $30. So thanks to subscribers, and everybody have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be making another video here soon. Thanks.